Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you a very simple blogging strategy that gets you found on page 1 of Google without having to spend a penny on Google Ads. This way you can start to generate more leads coming into your business for free. But before we go there, I'd just like to remind you that the doors are open for you to join our Trades Freedom Club's Growth Club and get access to all the marketing training, business coaching, and of all our live training events that we run every single week for our members. To find out more, please click the link in and around the description of this episode and come and join us in our Growth Club. Now let's transition over to this week's coaching episode. On my Inner Circle marketing and business coaching program, we spend 5 full months working on all different marketing strategies that we're going to pull together that forms your attract strategy on how we're going to attract your target market in their highest concentration to your business by the content that we create. And one of the months that we look at is content marketing. In other words, written marketing that we can put out online somewhere that people can find that draws them and drags them like a magnet to our business. And one part of that content marketing is what we call blog content or blog articles. Now, it's usually at this point where my Inner Circle members will say to me, Craig, I sort of get what a blog article is. I think I know what one is, and I think I've got one on my website, but I don't fully understand what a blog article is. So I'm going to start off this episode by sharing with you what a blog article is in the first place, because there'll be many people out there that don't understand what it is. And it's very, very simple. A blog article is a page that's added to your website, but unlike the other pages on your website that's designed to give information about a product or service that you are technically selling, a blog article is not a sales piece of content. It's a piece of content that you're going to create that gives lots of value, lots of knowledge, and lots of information away for free. So the person that's reading that blog article is going to look at you as an authority, understand that you know what you're doing, and this also helps you to build that know, like, trust and confidence that we need to build with any potential future customers. So it's a piece of content that you add onto your website that's rammed full of value. And that's it. Now, on your website right now, you will have got maybe, a services page, an about us page, a gallery page maybe. All we're going to do is add another tab, if you like, at the top of your website that's called blog. And when people click that blog title or that blog tab, it's going to open up a page, and on that page are all your different blog articles that you've written that are valuable knowledge that you're giving away for free to build that authority and that credibility with your potential customers. Now, we want our blog articles to be organically found on Google by your target market, who right now, while I'm recording this episode, there will be people out there now searching on Google to find your product, your service in their town or city right now. And how the SEO works, the search engine optimization around these blog articles, is the same as your website. So if you want your website to rank on page 1 of Google, you've got to do what they call SEO on your website, which includes things like keyword research and getting the keywords that people are searching for onto your website. And that way, Google's going to start to rank you. Well, it's the exact same with blog articles. When we're writing a blog article, we've got to write that blog article with SEO and keywords in mind so that when people go to Google and do a search, your blog article is going to start to rank on Google. And it's so much easier to get a blog article ranking on Google because it's technically one page that you're building that needs SEOing than a complete website that might have got 15 different pages on, and the whole website and all 15 pages need SEOing. There's a lot of work in that, and that takes time. So if you want to start generating more leads and getting found on Google, the quickest and easiest way to do this is by you creating and writing blog articles that's got keywords in that you know that your target market are searching for. And when these blog articles start to rank on page 1 of Google, that blog article then is going to start to generate you more leads coming into your business. So that's what a blog article is. And the purpose of it is to get found on Google with the search terms that people are typing into that search bar. So the first part of this strategy is this. You need to do some keyword research to find out what your customers are typing into Google to find your product or service. Because if we don't do the keyword research first, the likelihood is we're just going to get up one morning, decide we're going to write a blog article on some random topic that nobody is searching for on Google, and therefore your blog article is not getting found. And this is the exact same strategy as you'd use on your website. And this is why people have got websites that they've invested, 2, 3, 4 grand into. The websites have been built and they look pretty, but they're not ranking anywhere on Google or Bing or search engines because the websites haven't been SEO'd with the keywords to find that business. So it's the exact same strategy with a blog. If you want the blog to get found, we've first of all got to do a little bit of keyword research to find out what our customers are actually searching for. Then what we do, we write the blog article based on those keywords and that topic that we know people are searching for. And that way we've got more chance of our blog article hitting page 1 of Google. And trust me, when you get on page 1 of Google, you're going to start to generate more leads than you've ever generated before. So the tool that I'm going to suggest to you that you go away and check out that will help you do some of this keyword research, that will not only help you with your blog article, but it'll also help you do the keyword research as well for your website, is a tool called moz.com. moz.com. And if you go and sign up to moz.com, there's a free version and there's a paid version. And you start typing keywords or phrases into moz.com, it's going to start to tell you how many people in your area are searching for those keywords. And what we're looking for is we're looking for keywords that's got thousands of people searching for it in your area, because the more people that are searching for that keyword, the more chance we've got of our website / blog article being found on page 1 of Google. So, for example, I had a building company and a loft conversion company, as you know, before I sold it, and I'm based in Sheffield. So our keywords that people would be searching for when we used Moz to do our keyword research was things like loft conversions in Sheffield, attic conversions in Sheffield. How much is a loft conversion? I'm in Sheffield. Are you with me? What are the building regulations around loft conversions? Do I need planning permission for a loft conversion? When we started working out that these were the keywords that people were typing into Google, what we did is we didn't only just SEO our website for those keywords, but what we also did is we started writing blog articles. For example, do I need planning permission for a loft conversion? And that'd be the heading, getting the keywords into the heading of that blog. But then in the body and the content that we're writing on that blog, we'd still be getting the keywords in, but we'd be getting keywords in there with our location, Sheffield. So having done over 400 loft conversions in Sheffield, we know that the planning permission regulations are you with me? So what we're now doing with that blog article, we're writing it with all the keywords that people are searching for based on our research that we've done on Moz, therefore giving our blog article more chance of being found on Google rather than doing what most people do, which is get up in the morning, decide they're going to write a blog article on some random topic that nobody's even searching for, and then they're wondering why the website and the blog articles aren't generating them leads. Well, they're not generating your leads because nobody's searching for the whatever you've just written about that particular day. So we've got to do the keyword research and analysis first to make sure that this works. Now, one little tip before you get carried away and you start using tools like ChatGPT. You could go onto ChatGPT right now, type your keywords in, tell it to write you a blog article based on these keywords, and ChatGPT or any other AI software will write you a really good blog. However, Google are not stupid. They know that you've then written that blog article using ChatGPT or AI, and Google do not like that. So if you go and make that mistake of writing just about any random topic, you're not going to get found. But if you take to ChatGPT, you do your keyword research and you use ChatGPT to write you the blog, Google are going to recognize that and they're going to penalize you and they're not going to rank your blogs. So you've got to make sure that when you're writing these blog articles, you're not using ChatGPT. You can use it for ideas, but you can't just copy and paste and then put that blog article on your website because you're not going to get ranked and you're defeating the object of what blog articles are designed to do. So hopefully I've just explained and cleared up what a blog article is, how we use them and what not to do to try and cheat and get ranked on Google. In the next chapter, I'm going to be sharing all the benefits of blogging for your business. Now, there are so many benefits to you starting to create blog articles, adding them onto your website. And what we recommend is a bare minimum of one blog article a month added to your website. If you could do one a fortnight, amazing. If you could do one a week, you're soon going to get to page one of Google the more blogs you have. But as a bare minimum, you want to be aiming for getting one blog article added to your website as a bare minimum every single month. But there are 10 massive benefits of you blogging for your business, and I'm going to give you what these 10 benefits are. And then you'll start to realise how one piece of written content can hold all these benefits. It's like a no-brainer that you've got to get into blogging. So write these down. I'm going to rattle them off. There's 10. Number 1, which we've already covered, is blog articles are going to be an easy way for you to get found on Google. Remember, your website might not be ranking anywhere on Google, but by adding a blog article that's keyworded for search terms that you know people are searching for, then you've got more chance of getting found on Google with a blog than you have your whole website. Number 2, drive traffic back to your website. So think about it. Whether that blog article is going to get ranked on Google, we're going to click that listing on Google, and where does it send you back to then to read the blog? It sends you off Google back to your website where the blog is held. Your blog's on your website. So it's a great way of being able to use Google to not only get people to read your blog, but to get people back to your ultimate sales tool, which is your website, because your blog is actually sat on your website. Number 3, blog articles help you build trust and authority, because when you're starting to share all this valuable knowledge, it demonstrates that you are an authority, you know what you're talking about, and all this equals trust. And that's one of the emotional marketing triggers that we've got to hit, is the word trust. Number 4, I call this warming up your potential customers. But what I mean by this is I mean building a relationship. You know, most people will come across your blogs or your website, and 9 times out of 10, they haven't got a Scooby-Doo who you are or what you do. So what we've got to do is we've got to start warming up that relationship with that customer, and a blog article will allow you to do it. Number 5, blog articles are amazing content to repurpose across all your social media platforms and also in emails. Because think about it, your blog article is now sat on your website. And when you go up to the URL bar at the top, where the URL link is to that page on your website, you can copy that URL to that blog article, write a series of social media posts, maybe on Facebook or LinkedIn, and then on that social media post, you're going to leave the URL link on that post. So when it's posted, anybody that's interested from reading your post can click the link, and that link then is going to send them directly back to your website to read that blog article. So we use social media. We even email all our database, if you like, and all our email list. Every time we create a blog article or a podcast like this, where we're giving valuable information away for free, we will email our list with a link back to our blog or a link back to listen to this podcast. It's the same thing. So we can repurpose that blog across social media and emails. Number 6, they are cost-effective, long-term marketing strategies. In other words, for you to create a blog article, it's going to cost you nothing. You can write your own blog articles. You can upload them onto your own website. And if you want to know how to do this, simply either come to me and I'll point you in the right direction, or just go to YouTube and type in a beginner's guide to writing a blog article. There'll be loads of videos on YouTube that will show you how to do this effectively. So it's all free. It's not like you're having to spend money on paid ads or you're having to spend money on checker trade. It's free, so it's cost effective. Number 7, blog articles will answer a lot of the questions that your potential customers may have. And if we can answer those questions before they've even spoken to us, again, that's building up that trust that, blimey, this person or this company knows what they're talking about and doing because they're answering all the questions that I've been thinking about when buying a new boiler, having solar panels fitted, having a new roof, having a house rendered, having an extension built. You're answering people's questions before they've even spoken to you. Number 8. Not only is it going to help you with Google and getting found on Google, it's also going to help you improve your local SEO on things like your Google My Business or your Google Maps, yeah? It's also going to start to rank you higher when you start having blog articles on Google that can be found on your website. Number 9, blog articles will keep people on your website longer. And what I mean by this is one of the many ranking factors that Google take into consideration from an SEO point of view is how long are people staying on your website? Because if people go onto your website and they're only spending 30 seconds on there because the website navigation's been built poorly, or you haven't got the 16 fundamental features that you need on your website to turn it into an inquiry generating machine, they can't find what they're looking for easily and quickly, then they're going to spend 10, 15, 20 seconds on your website and then they're going to bounce. In other words, they're going to come off your website. Well, that's sending a negative signal to Google saying my website is crap because nobody's spending any time on it. What Google want you to do is Google want your audience to spend as much time on your website as they can. So the longer we can keep them on the website, the better it is for your Google SEO when it comes to the website. Because if somebody's reading a 2,000 word blog article, it might take them 5 minutes just to read one blog. And if you've linked up another blog at the bottom of the page of the existing blog they're reading, and they go, oh, that might be interesting as well, and they click that, and they're reading another blog that takes them 5 minutes, all of a sudden you've kept someone on your website for 10 minutes. Now that's sending a really good signal back to Google saying, we've got some great content on our website that people are interested in because they're spending time on it. And the final one, number 10, is to build a long-term lead generation strategy. Because think about it. Once you've created a blog article, and let's go back to my days with my building company, how much does a loft conversion cost? Or do I need building regulations for a loft conversion? Once we've created that blog article that's now sitting on our website, that blog article is a long-term piece of content that's going to help us generate leads for years to come. Because do I need building regulations for a loft conversion? If I wrote that article today and added it to my website, I can still be sharing that blog article 2 years later on social media and via emails because the content is still relevant. So you're building content that you can use long term as a strategy that's not going to get outdated because it's the same keywords that someone's searching for today that someone might be searching for in 3 years' time. It's still the same content. You create it once, you use it forever. So as you can see, there are so many benefits for you creating a free, valuable piece of content that just sits on your website, starting to generate you leads. Now, we've been talking about SEO and how important SEO is to blog articles. So in this chapter, I want to share with you 5 key SEO tips for writing blog articles that are going to work and generate your leads. So grab your notepads and pens and make a note of these 5. Number 1 is use keywords your customers are searching for. We've already covered this off, haven't we? In the fact that you need to do a bit of keyword research using moz.com to find out what are those keywords that people are searching for. And then what we're going to do is we're going to embed those keywords into the blog article. Number 2, create a clear, catchy, searchable title. And what I mean by this is you've got to get your keywords in the title of the blog, but the title of the blog and what you call it has got to be compelling. It's got to be snappy. It's got to be, ooh, I need to know that. Are you with me? Think of an email. You must get hundreds of emails a week. And you're looking at your inbox and you'll go down and you'll look at all the different subject lines on an email. And some of them are boring and you just skim past them. But then there'll be one subject line that just pops out because it's engaged you, it's compelled you, and you're going to click that email, that subject line, because you're compelled to know, oh, what's this email? It's caught my eye. It's the exact same with the titles of your blogs. You can't make them boring. You can't make them dull as dishwater. You've got to make them compelling and clear and catchy that people want to click it to read it. Number 3, make it easy for people to read. And what I mean by this is I look at so many blog articles, including my inner circle members before they start the program with me. And I look at the ones that I've got a blog on, and it's not easy to read the blog. It's like they've wrote like 500-600 words and put them into big paragraphs and blocks of text. And there's no space in between them. They've not used any images. They've not broken up that text by using subheadings. It just looks like a mess. So what we've got to do is we've got to break up the blog by using short paragraphs. We've got to be using subheadings to split the paragraphs up. Use bullet points if need be, and also include a number of different images. So if you're talking about, the 5 most economical boilers on the market today, show a picture of each one of the boilers to break it up so it's easy to read. Number 4, be helpful and give real value. Again, when I've looked at other people's blog articles, I'll look at them and they're too salesy. It's like they're trying to sell the boiler, or they're trying to sell the solar panels, or they're trying to sell the extension. Are you with me? They're too salesy. Remember, a blog article's supposed to be informative and rammed full of value. It's almost like you're a mentor or a teacher or a coach, a bit like me, to your potential customers, where you've got to give that much knowledge away that they see you as an authority. And think about it. If you create a series of blog articles, you've now become an author, haven't you? Because now you're the author of a series of blog articles that are now sitting on your website. So when you start bringing the word author in, and you're a Tyler, but you're an author of a series of blog articles, then straight away, your authority and your value that you're adding is far greater than other people. Number 5, internal links and a clear call to action. Now, what I mean by internal links is think about what I've just shared in the previous chapter about how can we keep people on our website for as long as we can. So let's say that I am doing the loft conversions again, and I've got 10 blog articles, and they're all on my website. What I want to do, and what you need to do, is you need to link one blog article to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So in actual fact, all 10 blog articles in this example are all linked together. And how we do that is we hyperlink some of the text that you're writing. You know what I mean by hyperlink? When you see, like, say, some blue text with a line under it, and when you click that text, it sends you somewhere else. So think about this. If I did a blog article on, do I need planning permission for my loft conversion? Obviously, if they're going to need planning permission, they're going to need building regulations at the same time. So what I would do is, in that blog article where I'm talking about planning permission, I'm bound to use the words building regulations somewhere in that blog. So the word building regulations would be hyperlinked. So anybody who clicks that hyperlinked text of building regulations are now going to be sent over to my blog article, all on building regulations. Then, on the building regulations page, I might start talking about the cost of building regulations and the cost of loft conversions. So what I would then do is, where I've put the word cost of building a loft conversion, I'd hyperlink that to another blog article on my website that's all around how much does a loft conversion cost. Do you see what I mean? So I'm linking them all together. And if we start to do that, we get people staying on our websites for a hell of a lot longer. Now, these 5 tips, if you like, you've got to make sure that you do this, because remember, SEO is one of the key factors in getting your blog article ranked. So I want you to take these 5 tips into consideration when you start your first blog article. When we're writing our blog articles, or I'm coaching our inner circle members on how they need to do it, I provide them with a checklist, right? And this is just a 10 bullet pointed list that you need to make sure that you've ticked off to make sure that your blog article is bang on when it gets submitted to Google. And if you follow what I've shared with you so far in this episode and you bolt on this checklist, then you're going to do as much as you can. You can't do any more than this to get ranked on Google. So again, write down these 10 checklists and tick these off as and when you come to write your next or your first blog article. So number 1 on that checklist, me and my team, we've got to make sure that we have selected and picked the right keywords that customers are searching for. I know I'm repeating myself with this one, but it's absolutely bang on. You cannot write a blog article with just random things that you come up with. As we've already alluded to, you've got to choose the keywords. So do the keyword research is what I'm saying. Number 2 on this checklist, you've got to make sure that you use the keywords like loft conversion prices, as an example, in the title of the blog, and also in the first paragraph of text. So again, keywords in the title and within the body of the first paragraph of text. Number 3, make sure that you're breaking the post up and you've got headings at different points on your blog to break the page up. And make sure that you're keeping your paragraphs short. You don't want to be having long paragraphs, 3 lines, 4 lines max per paragraph, and be breaking them up with headings. Number 4, a blog article ideally needs to have a minimum of 500 to 2,000 words. Because if you write a blog article and there's 200 words on that page, there's not enough content, there's not enough words, and there'll not be enough keywords and subheadings for Google to pick that up. So general rule of thumb is 500 to 2,000 words is what you need to write on a blog article. Number 5, we always have to link at least one other blog article to that page. In other words, what I've just shared with you about linking one page to another, one blog to another, we make sure that we write the blog and it's hyperlinked to at least one other blog article on our website. Number 6, make sure that you've got a crystal clear call to action button on that blog. And what I mean by a call to action button is, let's say that you're doing a blog article. Let's just stick with loft conversion scenario. Let's just say I've done a blog article on, prices of loft conversions. At the bottom of that blog, or sandwiched in the middle of it, I'll have a button. And when they click that button, it would send them over to my vetting form then, where I could vet the customer, collect all the details to see if they're interested in a price for a loft conversion. So you want to make sure that you've got call to action buttons on your blog. So when somebody's consumed it, right, what do you want them to do next? You've created this blog article to draw them to you, but what's the next logical step that you want to take people on? And usually it's send them to your vetting form, because if they go through your vetting form and they pass all the different questions that you set and the criteria, then they are a warm lead, and therefore you might want to book a home or site surveying with them. But you've got to make sure that you've got a call to action on your blog article. Number 7, make sure that you repurpose the blog article into at least 3 social media posts. So you've got your blog article that you've written it on. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create 3 different social media posts. Each one of them social media posts will contain the URL link to that blog article that's now sat on your website. So you'll copy and paste that URL link, and that URL link will be added to 3 separate social media posts. So you've got 3 different posts going out, 3 different bites at the cherry for someone to see it. Click the link, bang, we've got them straight back over to his ultimate sales tool, which is his website, to read the blog. Number 8, you should all have an email list, either of past customers or maybe people that have come through your contact us form or a vetting form or a lead magnet that may not have gone on to become customers, but you should all have an email database. Ours is all kept inside Leadzilla, which is the software that we use to manage all our email marketing and text message marketing. We've got a database. So what we will do, like I've already said, is we'd write up an email all about what we've covered in the blog. We'll then put the link to the blog article and we'll send that out to everybody that's on our email list. And again, many of you listening to this podcast now might have got to this podcast because you've received an email, and in that email, I've put the link back to this podcast. It's the exact same strategy. Number 9, you've got to submit your blog and your website to Google via your Google search console, right? And this is how Google are going to index and know that you've added this blog article onto your website. And we do that through Google Search Console. You've got to make sure that this is all set up. You need like your Google Analytics setting up. You need your Google Search Console setting up. And again, the best thing to do around Google Search Console, if you're not quite sure what it is or how to use it, just take to YouTube and type in, how do I set up a Google Search Console, right? But if your web designers that's built your website are good at what they do, they should have already set you up Google Analytics and Google Search Console. It should be already done for you. So you might want to check with your web designers first, but again, take to YouTube to find out more information. And number 10, be consistent. Because Google want you to be putting fresh content on your website as a bare minimum monthly. And the content that goes onto it has got to be rich with SEO. So blog articles are ideal because when you add a blog article onto your new website, Google's going to look at your website and go, well, hang on a minute. This website is now starting to add content on a monthly basis. The content that's being added is all rich with keywords and search terms and SEO. Therefore, we're going to start ranking your website higher because your website is constantly being updated. What you cannot do and you must not do with any website is have a website built, send it live, and then don't do anything with it. Because that's like saying to Google, this is a website, it's never generated leads really. It doesn't get any new content added to it. It's not even being SEO'd correctly. There's no Google Search Console set up on it. And all that's sending a negative signal back to Google, and that's why your websites aren't being found. So our rule of thumb, we build websites at the Trades Freedom Club and we do SEO for our members, right? And our rule is we will update their websites on a bare minimum once a month with either a blog article, adding a video on there like a how-to video, maybe pull your social media feeds in, maybe from LinkedIn or X or Facebook, or add another page on the website, such as, I'm based in Sheffield, Loft Conversion Sheffield as an example. Well, the next area that I might want to target could be Loft Conversions Chesterfield. So we'll add another page on that's all SEO'd up around the word Chesterfield. But either way, you've got to be constantly adding fresh content onto your website for Google to take any notice of it. So there you have it, a very simple, easy blog strategy that will get you found on page 1 of Google, that doesn't cost a penny moving forward. Now, I teach all of my Inner Circle members and our Growth Club members to become content creators. You see, there's 2 people that you need to become in your trades or construction business before you can even get the tools out of the van to start a job. The first one is you need to become a content creator. Because in today's day and age, if you're not creating blog articles, if you're not creating reels or how-to videos, if you're not getting video testimonials and introduction videos on your website and across social media, if you're not creating social media posts, if you're not creating emails and having automated email campaigns sent out to your customers, if you're not creating your blog articles, all this is content creation. And it's very simple, is marketing. The more you advertise your business with quality content on a regular basis, the more leads you get. So for you to be able to generate more leads coming into your business now than ever before, whether that's because you just want to start cherry picking and be a little bit more picky on the jobs that you do, or whether you want more leads because deep down you know you want to scale and grow your business, you've got to create more content. And this is why I say to my Inner Circle and Growth Club members, I'm going to teach you how to become a content creator. Because without you creating the content in the first place, how the hell are you going to generate more leads? You're not. If you want a different result and a different outcome, in this case, more leads, you've got to change your approach and do things different. The second person I tell people that they need to become is a salesperson. And everybody hates the word sales. It's not a nice word. You know, you say salesperson and people think pushy, sleazy, double glazing car showroom salesperson, right? I'm not talking about being pushy and sleazy. I'm talking about just learning some sales tips and tricks and techniques to say and do the right things at the right part on your sales process to give you a better chance of converting that warm lead into a paying customer or a paying customer that chooses you. Because I know for sure that you'll be saying and doing the wrong things when it comes to sales in your sales pipeline. And in actual fact, you're hampering your own sales. So think about it. We've got to create the content to get found in the first place. And then before we get the job, we've got to learn how to convert that warm lead into a paying customer as quick and as easy as we can. And we do that by learning some little tips and tricks when it comes to sales. So what I want you to do is, although this podcast you might think, well, I've never done a blog, Craig. Well, listen, neither did I, but I were writing blog articles as a joiner 15 years ago. We were number one on Google for everything. And I'm talking 15 years ago. In fact, we were number one on YouTube for everything because it's the same SEO strategy that you use for your blogs and your website as you do on YouTube. So you've got to start creating this type of content. And it's these blogs that's going to help you generate more leads because most trades business owners won't be doing blogs. And if they are doing them, they'll be doing them wrong. You've now got the strategy and you've got an unfair advantage to dominate your local area in the trade that you're in by implementing the strategy I've just shared with you. Now, moving forward, your call to action is this. What I want you to do, once you've created your first blog and you've got it on your website, I want you to do one of two things. Number one, if you're a member of our Free Trades Freedom Club Facebook group and community, what I want you to do is come into the Facebook group, tell us that you've listened to this episode, number 58, and then share your link to your blog article and post it in our Facebook group. And let me have a look at it, and if I can critique it for you, I'll happily do that. But if you are a Growth Club member and you're in our secret community, what I want you to do is post into our school secret community your URL to your blog. And not only will I look at it, but all of our members will look at it because you know that you get additional help and support when you're a Growth Club member. Now, if you're not in our Facebook group and you want to join it, or you're not a Growth Club member yet, and you want to become a Growth Club member, that incidentally costs you less than a Costa coffee a day or a tube of silicon a day to get all this coaching, mentoring, help, support, live training with me and my team, pre-recorded content on every area of business for less than a cup of coffee, click the links in the show notes and the description of this episode and go and join our Facebook group or come and join our Growth Club and I'll see you inside there and we'll help you with your blog articles. And remember, when you're prepared to do what other people are not prepared to do, in other words, get stuck into these blogs and all the other strategies that I share with you on this podcast, when you're prepared to roll your sleeves up, get motivated and get stuck in, once you start to implement all these strategies, you're doing something that 95% of your competitors will not be doing and have never even heard of. Never mind doing it. When you're prepared to do what other people aren't prepared to do, I'm telling you now, that is when you get results. So I'll catch up with you on next week's episode and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.